The story begins with a breathtaking yet haunting image. Earth, once a vibrant, thriving planet, is now nothing more than a shattered wasteland. The camera zooms in from space, revealing the scarred surface of the planet. Cities that once bustled with life are now nothing but ruins, their once proud buildings reduced to piles of rubble. Alien warships circle above the desolate land, their sleek, ominous designs stark against the backdrop of a dying world. The silence of space is deafening, and for a moment, it feels as though Earth has been forgotten by the universe, lost to time and destruction. Yet, in the midst of this eerie quiet, something stirs. A signal, weak but unmistakable, cuts through the stillness. The signal seems to come from deep within Earth's orbit, the faint echoes of a forgotten past. The screen flickers for a moment as the signal is picked up by a nearby satellite, a cry for help, a call that humanity is not truly gone. It's a plea from Earth, desperate for the return of its people. The message is clear: we are coming back. This sudden revelation causes a ripple of panic in the heart of an advanced alien empire. The scene shifts, and we find ourselves in a highly advanced alien war room. High-ranking officers stand at attention, their eyes glued to a series of holographic displays showing Earth's ruins. The silence in the room is palpable, until the quiet is broken by one officer who slowly steps forward, his face pale and filled with shock. We thought we had wiped them out," he murmurs, his voice barely audible over the hum of the machines. His hand hovers over the console, his fingers trembling slightly as he reviews the incoming signal. The reality begins to set in as his mind races. Humans, the once mighty species thought to be extinct, were returning. The commander, a stern alien general named Zilkar, steps forward. His cold, calculating gaze sweeps across the room, locking eyes with each officer. There is no doubt in his mind, this is no coincidence. The humans have survived, and they are coming back with a vengeance. Zilkar had always believed that the destruction of Earth and its people was the final blow to humanity's existence. It had been his greatest achievement. He had been proud to destroy a species he viewed as weak, unworthy of the galaxy's resources. But now, that belief is shattered. The alien empire had underestimated the humans. Earth's destruction had not ended them, it had only fueled their fire. Zilkar knows the human fleet is on its way, and this time, the battle would be unlike anything he had ever faced. This was no longer about wiping out an insignificant species, this was about facing a force determined to avenge its fallen world. Back on Earth, the scene shifts to a massive fleet of human warships moving through space. The camera zooms in on one ship at the front of the fleet, the USS Vanguard, its sleek and imposing structure cutting through the void. Inside, the command bridge is abuzz with activity, but at the center stands Captain Elias Drake, a tall, battle-hardened leader with a sharp, charismatic presence. His face, weathered by countless battles, shows no fear, only determination. Elias Drake is not just any leader, he is the grandson of one of the last survivors of Earth's destruction. His grandfather, once a soldier who fought to protect Earth, had been among the few who managed to escape the alien onslaught. His story had always been one of resilience and hope, passed down through the generations as a reminder that humanity's will to survive would never be extinguished. Elias had grown up hearing the stories of Earth's fall, of the powerful alien forces that had wiped out his ancestors, and of the human spirit that refused to be broken. As a child, he had dreamed of returning to Earth and reclaiming the planet that was stolen from his people. Now, that dream was becoming a reality. He steps to the front of the command bridge, his eyes scanning the faces of his crew. These men and women, like him, had trained their entire lives for this moment. The years of preparation, the battles fought across distant worlds, all of it had led to this one decisive mission. The mission to avenge Earth and restore humanity's place in the galaxy. "We've come to take back what's ours," Elias says, his voice steady but full of emotion. The crew nods in agreement, a shared understanding between them. They had all lost something, friends, family, the very world they once called home. This mission wasn't just about strategy, it was personal. It was about revenge. The crew watches as the holographic map of the galaxy flickers to life. Earth's location, now just a dot on the map, seems so small, so insignificant. But Elias knows better. To them, Earth is everything. It is their home. It is the foundation of their existence. And they will not allow it to remain in the hands of those who seek to destroy it. The camera shifts back to the alien war room, where Zilkar and his officers are still processing the incoming message. The fear in their eyes is growing, and their worst fears are confirmed when the alien intelligence system, a massive supercomputer with vast knowledge of the galaxy, reports that a massive human fleet is approaching Earth. This is no longer a simple mission of conquest. It is a battle for survival. "They're coming," one officer says, his voice trembling with disbelief. "We must prepare." Zilkar's expression hardens as he makes a quick decision. "We will not be caught off guard. Prepare the fleet. We will destroy them before they even reach Earth." But Zilkar doesn't realize that this time, the humans are ready. The humans are no longer the weak, defenseless species they once were. In the years since their planet's fall, they have rebuilt. They have learned. They have evolved. And now, they are prepared to show the galaxy that Earth's destruction was the alien empire's greatest mistake. On the human side, Captain Elias stands at the front of his command center, his face resolute. "Prepare for battle," he commands. "We are not here to negotiate. We are here to take back Earth." The camera lingers on his face, capturing the intensity in his eyes. Elias knows this will be no easy task. The aliens are powerful, and their forces are vast. But as he looks out into the cold expanse of space, he feels a burning fire inside him. The fire of humanity's undying will to survive. And with that, the human fleet, led by Captain Elias Drake, begins its journey back to Earth. The final battle for humanity's home has begun. The human fleet arrives at Earth's orbit, a sight to behold in the vast emptiness of space. Dozens of ships, sleek and heavily armed, slip out of the shadows, cloaked in advanced technology. The fleet is a far cry from the humble ships of the past. They are armed with the latest in human innovation, cloaking devices that render them nearly invisible to alien detection, AI-driven warships that operate with precision and efficiency, and an array of drones designed for both reconnaissance and attack. The camera zooms in on the front of the fleet, where the USS Vanguard, the flagship of Captain Elias Drake, leads the charge. The massive warship is the symbol of humanity's strength and resolve. The ship's hull glows with energy, the pulse of its reactors ready for the fight ahead. Inside, the crew is on high alert, with officers stationed at their posts, eyes glued to their monitors, awaiting the order to engage. As the fleet moves closer to Earth's orbit, the atmosphere turns tense. The alien forces, having prepared for humanity's return, are already waiting. The enemy's ships are larger, more advanced, and bristling with weaponry. They stand between the humans and their homeworld, the world that once belonged to them. A world that was taken from them. Suddenly, the calm of space is shattered. The first shot rings out as a human warship opens fire on an alien cruiser. Explosions ripple through space, the shockwaves visible even from a distance. The battle has begun. The camera pulls back to reveal a stunning view of the chaos unfolding in space. High-tech warfare at its finest, drones darting through space, weaving in and out of enemy fire, AI-controlled warships executing flawless maneuvers, and massive explosions lighting up the darkness of space. The alien defenders, though powerful, are outnumbered and outgunned. The humans have come prepared, armed with a technology that the alien invaders can barely comprehend. The human ships move with precision, launching coordinated attacks, taking down enemy ships one by one. The battle is fierce, but it's clear that humanity is not going down without a fight. Captain Elias Drake watches from the bridge of the USS Vanguard, his eyes focused and sharp, tracking the movements of his fleet. He's calm, but beneath that calm is a deep well of rage, a rage that has been building for years. His ancestors died on this very planet and now, he will make the aliens pay. The human fleet advances, pushing the alien defenders back, but the battle is far from over. The stakes are high. Every ship, every soldier, every drone is vital. The fight for Earth is not just a battle of strength, it's a battle of survival. The humans cannot afford to fail. Failure means the final loss of their home. As the battle rages on, the camera cuts to a quieter moment on the USS Vanguard. Captain Elias stands alone on the bridge, gazing out at Earth. The once beautiful planet, the cradle of humanity, is now barely recognizable. Its oceans are a dark, lifeless color, and its landmasses are scarred by the devastation of war. The memories of Earth, the memories of a vibrant, thriving world, seem so far away now. In this moment, Elias's mind drifts back to those final days on Earth, the days when the alien warships descended from the skies, when cities burned and lives were lost. He remembers the faces of his family, the faces of those who didn't survive. His heart aches with the weight of those memories. He remembers the pain of seeing his planet fall, of watching helplessly as the world he loved was torn apart by forces beyond his control. He swears to himself, a vow as unbreakable as the steel of his ship's hull, he will avenge them. The faces of the lost, his parents, his friends, the people of Earth, will not be forgotten. The aliens who destroyed Earth will pay. He will make them regret ever underestimating humanity. But as he stands there, lost in thought, he is not alone. Lieutenant Bonner, Elias's second-in-command, steps up beside him. Bonner's face is tired, worn from the strain of battle, but there's a strength in his eyes that mirrors Elias's own resolve. Bonner's family was one of the many families lost during Earth's final days, and Elias knows this moment weighs heavily on him. "Captain," Bonner says quietly, his voice thick with emotion. "I never thought I'd live to see this day. To see Earth again, to see it destroyed like this. It brings back everything. My wife, my son. I never got to say goodbye. I never got to protect them. And now, this is all I have left. A chance for revenge. A chance to make them pay." Elias looks at Bonner, his eyes softening for a moment. He understands the pain. He understands the need for vengeance. "We all lost something," Elias says, his voice low. "We all lost something we can never get back. But what we're doing here, it's not just for us. It's for everyone who was taken from us. This is our chance to bring them justice." Bonner nods, his eyes steely with determination. Justice. For them. For Earth. The two men share a look, an unspoken understanding passing between them. They are more than just soldiers. They are the last vestiges of humanity's spirit. The fight for Earth is more than just a battle for survival, it is a battle for their very soul. They will fight to the last breath, because they have nothing left to lose. Meanwhile, the battle outside intensifies. Alien warships are being destroyed one after another, but the alien forces are not going down without a fight. They are relentless, determined to stop humanity from reclaiming their homeworld. In the midst of the chaos, Elias receives a communication from the front lines. "Captain, we're taking heavy fire," one of his officers reports. "We need reinforcements, now." Elias's heart races, but he remains calm. He knows the stakes. He knows that if they fail here, Earth will remain under alien control forever. "Deploy the drones," he orders, his voice firm. "We'll give them no room to breathe." The drones, small and agile, launch from the USS Vanguard, racing toward the battlefield with deadly precision. They weave through the chaos, attacking alien ships with pinpoint accuracy. The tide of the battle shifts in the humans' favor, but the aliens are still a formidable force. Back on the ship, Elias's mind is focused. Earth is so close, yet it feels so far away. His memories of the planet, the people, the cities, flood his thoughts. He thinks of his family, of the faces he will never see again. But most of all, he thinks of revenge. The fire inside him burns brighter than ever. This is only the beginning. The humans have returned. And they are ready to take back their home, no matter the cost. The human fleet, despite its advanced technology and relentless spirit, faces a formidable challenge as they near Earth. In the quiet vastness of space, the tension grows unbearable. As the human ships continue their advance, the alien forces, led by General Zilkar, prepare to make their move. Zilkar, a towering figure in the alien military hierarchy, stands at the helm of his massive warship, his gaze fixed on the incoming human fleet. His cold, calculating eyes burn with arrogance. He believes humanity is no match for the overwhelming strength of his empire. Earth's destruction, he thinks, was the end of humanity's story. But now, as the remnants of Earth's legacy rise to challenge him once again, Zilkar's pride will be his downfall. The alien general gives the order, it's time to strike back. He commands the deployment of the most fearsome weapons in the alien arsenal. AI-controlled war machines, towering metal beasts designed for destruction, begin to materialize from hidden stations in deep space. These war machines are the pinnacle of alien technology, faster, stronger, and more relentless than any human craft. Alongside them, the alien fleet's warships, massive and imposing, power up their weapons, ready to unleash a deadly counteroffensive. As the alien forces move in, the human fleet braces for the storm. The first few moments are tense, with each side carefully positioning their ships, waiting for the first sign of attack. But it doesn't take long for the battle to erupt. Suddenly, beams of light streak across space, cutting through the void like lasers. Explosions rock the human fleet as the aliens unleash a torrent of firepower. The human ships are rocked by the force of the blasts, but they hold steady, their shields flickering under the intense pressure. On the USS Vanguard, Captain Elias Drake watches as the enemy warships emerge from the shadows, their size and power dwarfing that of the human fleet. His mind races. He knows the odds are against them. Even with cloaking devices and AI-driven tactics, the raw power of the aliens' weapons is overwhelming. His crew, their faces illuminated by the cold glow of the ship's monitors, remains focused, but Elias can see the fear in their eyes. They've come a long way to get here. But the true battle has only just begun. The aliens launch a coordinated assault, their AI-controlled war machines surging forward, relentless and fast. These machines are unlike anything the humans have ever faced. They are built to think, adapt, and attack with precision, operating far beyond the capacity of a typical alien soldier. They come at the human fleet from all directions, attacking in waves. The human fleet is forced to maneuver quickly, utilizing every advantage they have. Cloaking devices flicker as ships disappear and reappear, using their stealth to stay one step ahead of the enemy. But the alien forces are too powerful. The sheer number and ferocity of the AI machines leave the humans struggling. For every alien warship they take down, two more appear in its place. The human fleet is being overwhelmed. On the USS Vanguard, Elias's grip tightens on the armrest of his captain's chair. His eyes scan the chaotic battlefield, the flashing lights and constant explosions filling the space around him. He can hear the explosions even through the ship's walls, the deep rumbling shockwaves of alien weaponry. The sound is deafening. The pressure is unbearable. But Elias's resolve remains unbroken. He knows the stakes. He knows this battle could decide humanity's fate. "Captain, we've lost the Seraph," a voice calls from the comms. Elias doesn't flinch. The Seraph, a key ship in their fleet, is gone. But there's no time for mourning. We need to regroup and find a way through their lines. We can't afford to lose anyone else. Elias nods, his mind racing. He knows they need to break through the enemy's defenses. The aliens may have superior firepower, but the humans have one thing the aliens can't match: their ability to adapt, to fight back with everything they have. This is what makes them dangerous. It's not the technology or the ships, it's their will to survive. He turns to his second-in-command, Lieutenant Bonner. Deploy the drones. We need to buy ourselves some time to get in closer. Bonner nods, immediately issuing the orders. The drones, small but lethal, launch from the USS Vanguard in a flurry of activity. They zip through space, darting and weaving between the larger alien ships, attacking with precision. Their small size and speed make them difficult to target, and they manage to inflict some damage on the alien warships. For a moment, the tide seems to turn in humanity's favor, but the alien forces quickly retaliate. Meanwhile, the human ships begin to falter. Alien AI-controlled war machines are everywhere, surrounding the humans from every angle. Every time a human ship dodges an attack, another comes from a different direction, faster and more determined than before. The humans are being pushed into a corner, and the battle for survival becomes even more desperate. Captain Elias knows that they cannot continue fighting like this. Their cloaking technology, their drones, and their superior tactics can only buy them so much time. They need to find a way to break through the alien lines, and fast. On the bridge of the USS Vanguard, Elias stands tall, his gaze locked on the battle. We need to hit them where it hurts. I want all ships to focus on the alien war machines. Take them down, and the rest will fall. The humans fight back with everything they have. The ships launch missiles, fire energy blasts, and unleash every weapon they can muster. The battlefield becomes a blur of colors, explosions, flashes of light, and the deep rumble of weapons fire filling the air. The battle is at a fever pitch, each side refusing to give in. But despite the humans' best efforts, the alien forces seem to have an endless supply of reinforcements. The AI-controlled war machines keep coming, unrelenting and unstoppable. The sheer weight of their numbers forces the human fleet to retreat, one step at a time. The human struggle continues. Elias, Bonner, and the rest of the crew push forward, their resolve hardened by the weight of their mission. They are not just fighting for their survival, they are fighting for revenge. The stakes are too high for them to back down now. They must find a way through the alien defenses and continue their battle for Earth. Despite the odds stacked against them, the humans refuse to surrender. They are the underdogs, fighting against a technologically superior enemy. But it is their determination, their refusal to give up, that makes them a force to be reckoned with. The battle rages on, and the fate of Earth hangs in the balance. The human fleet is battered and bruised, but they are not broken. They will continue to fight, no matter the cost. The aliens may be powerful, but they are about to learn one crucial thing: never underestimate humanity. The struggle for Earth is far from over, and the fight is about to get even more intense. The fate of the human race depends on the courage and determination of those brave enough to face the alien threat head-on. With each passing minute, the battle for Earth grows more desperate, but also more thrilling. The humans are down, but they are far from out. This is their last stand, and they will fight to the very end. The battle for Earth had taken a heavy toll on the human fleet. Every passing minute felt like a relentless hammer, crushing the survivors, wearing down their resolve. The alien forces were powerful, unyielding, and relentless. Yet, even in the face of overwhelming odds, the humans fought with everything they had. But the cost of war, especially for Captain Elias Drake, was beginning to show. The attack on the alien fortress was their last hope, a desperate mission to infiltrate the heart of Zilkar's empire and deal a crippling blow to the alien war machine. The plan was risky, but failure wasn't an option. If they could break through the alien defenses, maybe they could turn the tide. The entire human fleet was counting on it. Elias and his crew were ready. As the human ships made their final approach to the alien stronghold, cloaking devices in full effect, the tension aboard the USS Vanguard was palpable. Every member of the crew understood the stakes. The mission was a suicide run for many, but they had no choice. It was a last-ditch effort to strike at the heart of the enemy. Lieutenant Bonner, Elias's second-in-command and one of his oldest and closest friends, stood beside him on the bridge. The weight of their shared history hung heavy between them. They had fought side by side for years, their bond forged through countless battles and near-death experiences. But now, as they approached their most dangerous mission yet, there was a silent understanding between them that this might be the end. Bonner's face, usually so confident, now carried the same weary expression as the rest of the crew. He knew what was at stake. Elias could see the same determination in Bonner's eyes, the unwavering commitment to their mission, no matter the cost. They both knew that Earth's future rested on this final push. The plan was simple but dangerous. They would infiltrate the alien fortress by cutting through the outer defenses with a devastating orbital bombardment. The bombardment would clear a path, allowing the human soldiers to land on the planet's surface and storm the fortress. It was a high-risk maneuver, and the danger of being intercepted was immense. But if they succeeded, it would be the turning point of the war. As the USS Vanguard entered the enemy's orbit, Elias stood at the helm, his eyes fixed on the alien fortress looming ahead. The massive structure was a symbol of the alien empire's power. Towering walls, glistening with alien technology, stood like sentinels in space, daring anyone to challenge them. The fortress was impenetrable, surrounded by a deadly ring of defense systems, war machines, and alien warships. But the human fleet was relentless. "Prepare for orbital bombardment," Elias commanded, his voice steady despite the tension in the air. "All ships, focus your fire on the outer walls. We have one shot at this." The bombardment began. Waves of laser beams and missile barrages struck the alien fortress, shaking it to its core. Explosions erupted in space, lighting up the black void with a dazzling display of destructive power. The alien defenses faltered under the onslaught, but the fortress still stood, its sheer size and technological strength proving to be a formidable challenge. As the bombardment continued, the human soldiers, wearing advanced battle suits, prepared for their descent onto the planet's surface. They were equipped with the latest technology, jetpacks, cloaking devices, and weapons that could level cities. The plan was simple: get in, plant the explosives, and get out before the aliens could retaliate. But the path was far from simple. The human fleet launched their landing forces, and the battle on the surface of the planet erupted in full force. The ground shook as human boots hit the alien soil, and the clash of metal and technology echoed through the barren landscape. The alien fortress loomed above them, a stark reminder of the power they were up against. Inside the fortress, the human soldiers fought their way through corridors, encountering fierce resistance at every turn. Alien sentinels, armored in advanced exosuits, attacked from all sides, their weapons a deadly force. The humans fought back with everything they had, but the alien defenders were strong, and the humans were outnumbered. Every corner was a potential death trap, and the soldiers had to move quickly, using their speed and advanced tactics to stay ahead. Elias and Bonner were at the forefront of the battle. They fought side by side, each covering the other's back as they moved deeper into the heart of the fortress. Every step they took brought them closer to their target, but every step also brought them closer to danger. The walls of the fortress seemed to close in on them as the alien forces pressed in, determined to crush the human invaders. The battle was fierce, but the humans pushed forward, inch by inch. The corridors of the fortress were filled with gunfire, explosions, and the screams of combatants. The pace was relentless, there was no time to hesitate, no time to mourn the fallen. Every moment counted, and they had to keep moving. But then, amidst the chaos, disaster struck. A sudden explosion rocked the corridor, and Elias was thrown to the ground. When he regained his bearings, he saw Bonner lying on the floor, blood pooling around him. The explosion had been a trap set by the aliens, and Bonner had been caught in the blast. Elias's heart stopped. He scrambled to Bonner's side, ignoring the ongoing battle around him. "Bonner! Stay with me, buddy!" Elias shouted, shaking his friend's shoulder. Bonner's eyes flickered open, but they were glazed with pain. "You have to finish it, Elias," Bonner said, his voice weak but steady. "Don't let it end here. For Earth, for everyone." With a final, pained smile, Bonner closed his eyes. The words echoed in Elias's mind, and the weight of the loss hit him like a tidal wave. Bonner was gone. The friend he had fought alongside for so many years was gone. The pain was unbearable, but there was no time to mourn. They were so close to their goal, and Elias knew that Bonner's sacrifice couldn't be in vain. Elias stood, his eyes burning with fury and grief. He wiped the tears away, but there was no time to cry. His resolve hardened. Bonner had given everything for this mission, and Elias would make sure they succeeded, for him, for Earth, and for all the lives lost in this war. The humans continued to push forward, their determination fueled by the sacrifice of their fallen comrades. They were on the verge of reaching the heart of the fortress. Zilkar and his empire had no idea what was coming. The heart of darkness was about to be pierced, and humanity would stop at nothing to take back their home. As the soldiers neared their target, the walls of the fortress trembled. The final showdown was about to begin. Every second mattered. The fate of Earth rested on their shoulders, and they would not fail. The struggle for humanity's survival had reached its darkest point, but Elias and his crew were more determined than ever to see it through. They were willing to fight and sacrifice everything to ensure that Earth, no matter how broken, would rise again. The heart of darkness would be conquered. The battle for Earth was far from over, and the final victory was within their grasp. The war for Earth had been raging for months, each battle leaving its mark on the human fleet. Despite the odds, humanity's resolve never wavered. Captain Elias Drake and his crew had faced countless hardships, but the fight was far from over. With the destruction of Earth looming on the horizon, the human fleet had no choice but to push forward into the heart of enemy territory. They had one final hope, a weapon that could turn the tide of the war in their favor. As Elias and his crew infiltrated the alien mothership, they discovered something that could change everything. Deep within the belly of the fortress, they found an ancient, powerful weapon, the Star Harbinger. The weapon, capable of obliterating entire star systems, had the power to end the war in an instant. It was the key to their survival. But there was a problem: disabling it would be nearly impossible. The defenses surrounding the weapon were far too strong, and the alien forces were on high alert. "This is it," Elias said, standing before the massive weapon. His heart raced as he examined the intricacies of the device. It was unlike anything he had ever seen, alien in design, yet familiar in its destructive power. He knew that if they didn't disable it, the alien empire would have the power to wipe out humanity with a single strike. As Elias surveyed the situation, he realized that the only way to accomplish their mission was with a devastating sacrifice. The human fleet had already taken heavy losses, but this final push would require them to risk everything. It was a decision that weighed heavily on his heart, but Elias knew it had to be done. The fate of Earth and humanity rested on this very moment. He gathered his senior officers for a final briefing. The plan was simple but filled with danger: use their advanced cloaking technology to infiltrate the alien mothership, plant explosives inside the weapon's core, and escape before the ship could retaliate. It was a suicide mission for many, but Elias had no other choice. The weapon had to be destroyed, or they would lose the war. The fleet prepared for the assault. Each ship readied its weapons, and the crew tightened their grips on their fate. It was do or die. They had one chance, and failure was not an option. Elias had seen countless comrades fall, but this time, they couldn't afford to lose anyone. "Remember why we're doing this," Elias said to his crew as they took their positions. "For Earth. For humanity. For those who gave their lives to get us here." With a final salute, the human fleet set off toward the alien mothership, cloaking devices engaged. The ship slipped through the alien defenses like shadows, invisible to the enemy, moving silently toward the heart of the enemy ship. The tension was unbearable. Every moment felt like a countdown, and Elias could feel the weight of the mission pressing on him. As they approached the mothership, the cloaking technology proved to be both a blessing and a curse. The human ships were hidden from sight, but the tension in the air was thick. Elias's heart raced as he gave the signal to move forward. They had to plant the explosives deep within the core of the Star Harbinger before the aliens realized what was happening. Inside the mothership, the atmosphere was cold and sterile. The walls glistened with alien technology, and the halls were filled with the hum of machinery that had been designed for one purpose: to conquer. The human soldiers infiltrated the ship with precision, moving quickly but cautiously. They encountered alien patrols, and each time, a firefight broke out. The aliens were quick to respond, but the humans were faster, using their advanced tactics and cloaking devices to stay one step ahead. It was clear that the aliens were aware of the threat. The moment the first explosion went off, the alarms blared across the ship. The walls shook, and the air was filled with the sounds of battle. The humans pushed forward, their resolve unwavering. They fought through the enemy defenses, blasting their way toward the core of the Star Harbinger. Elias, leading the charge, moved with purpose. The Star Harbinger was close, but so were the aliens. The human fleet had to act quickly before reinforcements arrived. Time was running out, and with every passing second, the threat of failure grew. But Elias and his crew fought with everything they had, their determination as strong as ever. Suddenly, the ship's main defensive systems activated, and the humans were forced into a chaotic battle. The corridors erupted in gunfire as the aliens fought to prevent them from reaching the weapon. The humans' cloaking devices had given them an advantage, but it was quickly wearing off. The enemy was too numerous, and their firepower too overwhelming. In the heart of the mothership, Elias and his team finally reached the weapon's core. The massive Star Harbinger pulsed with dark energy, and the sheer scale of it was enough to take anyone's breath away. But there was no time to admire it. They had come to destroy it, and that's exactly what they were going to do. With a grim expression, Elias activated the explosives. But as the countdown began, a voice echoed through the ship. It was Zilkar, the alien general who had orchestrated the destruction of Earth. His voice boomed through the speakers, cold and menacing. "You think you can defeat me, human?" Zilkar sneered. "I am the future of the galaxy. You are nothing but insects beneath my heel." Elias gritted his teeth. He knew what he had to do. "I'm not here to defeat you," Elias said, his voice calm despite the danger. "I'm here to end this war." The countdown continued as Elias and his crew made their way toward the exit, but they were intercepted by Zilkar and his elite guards. The alien general, towering and imposing, confronted Elias in the heart of the Star Harbinger. "Now, you will pay the price for your arrogance," Zilkar said, drawing his energy sword. A brutal fight broke out. Zilkar's alien strength was unmatched, and Elias struggled to keep up. His movements were quick, but the alien general was faster. With every blow, Elias felt the weight of the fight pressing down on him. He couldn't lose now. Not after everything they had sacrificed. Zilkar lunged forward, his weapon crackling with dark energy. Elias barely managed to block the strike, but he was knocked back, his vision swimming with pain. For a moment, it seemed like the end was near. But Elias refused to give up. He had one final chance to save Earth. With a surge of adrenaline, Elias fought back, using his tactical training and sheer willpower to gain the upper hand. The two warriors clashed in a flurry of strikes, each one more desperate than the last. Finally, with a final, powerful blow, Elias disarmed Zilkar and sent him crashing to the ground. The alien general was defeated. But there was no time to celebrate. The countdown was nearing its end. Elias and his crew rushed toward the exit, the explosive device ticking away behind them. With seconds to spare, they escaped the mothership and made it back to their ships, just as the Star Harbinger detonated in a massive explosion. The shockwave rocked the entire fleet, but the weapon was gone. The war was over. Earth had been saved. As Elias looked back at the remnants of the alien mothership, he knew the cost of victory. So many had died, and so much had been lost. But in the end, humanity had triumphed. They had fought against insurmountable odds, and they had won. The final assault had been a success. Earth was free. But at what cost? Elias stood in silence, the weight of the victory heavy on his heart. It had been a brutal fight, but humanity had proven that no matter the odds, they would always fight for their survival. The final assault had been grueling, and the cost of victory had been higher than anyone could have imagined. The Star Harbinger, the ultimate weapon that could have destroyed humanity and countless other worlds, was no more. In its place, there was nothing but the smoldering ruins of the alien mothership, a testament to the unyielding spirit of the human race. But the destruction of the weapon was not the end of the war, it was the beginning of humanity's greatest triumph. The alien empire, crippled by the loss of its strongest weapon, began to crumble. The hold it had over Earth and its colonies began to slip away, and the once mighty invaders found themselves on the brink of defeat. As the remnants of the alien fleet scattered across space, the humans began their final push to reclaim Earth. The fight had been long and bloody, but it was far from over. There were still pockets of resistance, alien forces hiding in underground bunkers, scattered warships still attempting to fight back. But the human fleet, now united and determined, was relentless. They had seen the horrors of war, felt the weight of their fallen comrades, and knew they couldn't let this victory slip away. The final orbital bombardment was a sight to behold, a breathtaking, overwhelming display of power and precision. As the human fleet launched wave after wave of devastating strikes from their warships, the alien forces on Earth were annihilated. The skies above Earth darkened as massive explosions lit up the atmosphere, and the very ground trembled under the impact. The last remnants of the alien invaders were wiped out in a series of massive explosions, their fortified strongholds and bases obliterated in seconds. The sound of the explosions reverberated through space, a powerful message that Earth was no longer under alien control. For Captain Elias and his crew, it was a moment of both victory and sorrow. They had avenged their fallen comrades, but the pain of loss was still fresh in their hearts. They had fought for Earth, for their families, and for the future of humanity. But the cost had been steep. Lieutenant Bonner, their close friend and brave comrade, was gone. Many others had sacrificed their lives for this moment. The final victory, though sweet, was tinged with sadness. The crew stood in solemn silence as they watched the devastation unfold before them. The Earth, battered and broken, was finally free, but it was a victory that came with heavy hearts. Elias stood at the command bridge, watching as the final bombardment concluded. His mind replayed the events of the past months, the battles, the sacrifices, the moments of despair. But through it all, humanity had persevered. They had fought against overwhelming odds, against an alien empire that seemed invincible. And now, they had won. The silence that filled the ship was broken only by the hum of the engines and the distant sound of victory. It was a quiet, hard-earned triumph. After the bombardment, the human fleet descended toward the surface of Earth, their ships landing in the cities that had once been occupied by the alien invaders. The skies cleared, and the sun began to rise over the horizon, an unmistakable symbol of a new beginning. For the first time in years, humanity could breathe freely. The oppressive grip of the alien empire was gone, and Earth was theirs again. As Elias disembarked from his ship and stepped onto the surface of Earth, the weight of the moment settled in. He looked around, taking in the sight of the world they had fought so hard to reclaim. The air was thick with the scent of fresh rain, the streets were filled with the sounds of people emerging from their homes, and the sky, once tainted by the alien presence, was now clear and bright. The Earth had survived. Humanity had survived. Elias felt a sense of awe as he gazed at the rising sun, its golden rays cutting through the clouds and bathing the planet in warmth. It was a new dawn, not just for Earth, but for all of humanity. The victory was theirs, and it was something they had earned with blood, sweat, and tears. As he stood there, his mind drifted to the friends and family they had lost along the way. The faces of the fallen flashed before his eyes. They had given everything for this moment. Their sacrifice would never be forgotten. In the distance, he saw his crew gathering. They had been through so much together, the brutal battles, the losses, the triumphs. They had forged an unbreakable bond in the heat of war, and now, as they stood together on the surface of Earth, they were more than just soldiers. They were family. Elias walked toward them, his boots crunching on the dirt beneath him. As he approached, he saw the familiar faces of his crew, each one weathered by the war but filled with a sense of pride and relief. They had done it. They had won. He nodded to each of them, a silent acknowledgement of their shared sacrifice and victory. "This is it," Elias said, his voice filled with emotion. "We've done it. Earth is ours again." There was no cheer, no grand celebration, just a quiet moment of reflection. They had won the war, but the journey was far from over. Elias knew that the victory was just the beginning of something much larger. They had faced an empire, and they had defeated it. But what would the galaxy think now? Humanity had proven its strength, its resilience, and its will to survive. And Elias had a feeling that this was only the start. The alien empire might be defeated, but there were other forces in the galaxy, other threats, waiting in the shadows. As he stood there, looking out at the horizon, Elias felt a sense of certainty. Humanity was back. Stronger than ever. And they weren't just going to survive, they were going to thrive. "This is only the beginning," he said quietly to himself. "The fight for the galaxy is far from over." As the sun climbed higher in the sky, Elias knew that the road ahead would be difficult. But with the spirit of humanity burning bright within him, he was ready for whatever came next. The galaxy was vast, and it held countless unknowns, but humanity had shown that they would not be crushed. They had fought for their world and emerged victorious. Now, they would fight for the future of the stars. With the echoes of their victory still ringing in his ears, Elias turned toward his crew. The battle was over, but the war for the galaxy was just beginning. There was no turning back now. Humanity had taken its first step toward greatness, and nothing would stop them from claiming their place among the stars.